The first thing we're going to talk a little bit about here is the Padres. And I know I'm trying not to cover sports in my podcast, and I'm not really approaching this from a sports angle. It's more about a television angle and the implications here in San Diego. Because for the longest time, I subscribed to cable TV, and we had a Cox account, um, and we cut the cord, and we are now streaming a lot of stuff, and the whole streaming world is evolving and changing, and prices are sort of in flux, and now this news hit. So the story is that Bally Sports, which is channel 56 on Cox cable, they were paying rights fees to the San Diego Padres to the tune of about, I think, $100 million a year. So I think they had to make a $20 million payment, or was it a 20? I don't know. I get my numbers mixed up. They had to make a huge payment here at the end of May in order to retain the licensing rights to broadcast the Padres. And of course, they make their money from the subscription dollars and the advertising dollars. Well, they decided they're not going to pay anymore. And the reason is because the whole market's shifting. And as people are cutting the cord and not using Cox cable for TV as much, their revenues are declining. And yet the Padres wanted this big license fee. The world's changing. And so people are now going, well, what am I going to do? Where can I get this? How am I going to be able to watch the Padre games? Well, I did the math on this. And it's an interesting story. And I'm curious if you've gone down a similar path, because we had our cable TV package, and I think I had we didn't have any like HBO or any of those premium channels, but we had some of the sports channels, and that combined with a high-speed internet connection, and we get the highest one specifically so I can live stream here in my podcast. And we were paying $100 a month just for the internet portion only. And by the way, I get download speeds that are close to a terabyte a second. I mean, crazy download speeds. And my upload speeds are about 35 megabytes, which is pretty good. And it makes this live stream functional. I mean, if I didn't have that high-speed internet, the video would probably be a lot more choppy. So we were paying $300 a month to Cox, roughly, $100 of which was for the internet, and the remaining $200, roughly speaking, was for the TV portion of our contract. And of course, it started out a lot less than that. And Cox kept raising the price, and then when this whole streaming model, was unfolding, we were curious about maybe cutting the cord, but we always cling to Cox cable because we had to watch the Padre games, and that was really the only viable way to see them. Well, this year we finally cut the cord, and I ended up subscribing to DirectTV Stream, not the DirectTV satellite that a lot of people already have, but you can get a streaming package from DirectTV. It's kind of like Netflix. It sits on top of your internet. So the plan I had was I was going to just keep the internet portion at $100 a month. And then I was going to just add on a television service package with DirectTV Stream, which is essentially like a cable TV package. I get a whole bunch of channels, including Bally Sports, so I can watch the Padre games. But that was going to be roughly speaking, about $100 a month. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. But, I really don't want all those other channels. I just want to watch the Padre game, because on my current system with my Google Chrome Fire Stick, I can get a lot of my local news for free. I don't have to pay for that. And really, when I'm watching television, I'm usually watching either local news or sports, or I'm watching just streaming, like on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something. I mean, I have largely abandoned, the 200 channels on cable TV. I haven't really been watching many of those channels in years. In fact, when we had cable TV, I would sometimes have like cable news on, but mostly in the background. I'd watch the local news in the morning or at night. And then the rest of my viewing time was typically on Netflix or Amazon Prime or HBO Max or something like that. So I had this grand plan, and the grand plan was, okay, $300 with Cox. I was going to $200 for TV, $100 for internet, because I had an expensive internet package for this fast downloading, uploading, so I could do the live stream. I figured, okay, I'll drop the $200 on TV. I have $100 on the internet, and then I'll just a la carte some of these different packages that I want. And in the end, I might spend 150, $200 a month, which would be less than 300. And I'm not really feeling like I'm subservient to Cox. I didn't want to get sucked into the whole Cox cable thing. Well, it didn't turn out that way. Like I said, I ended up having to buy the DirecTV package, DirecTV stream, so I could get Bally Sports, which was $100 a month. But get this, when I dropped the cable TV portion of my Cox bill, which was roughly 200, and my internet was 100, when I went internet only, they took that $100 a month and upped it to 180. Again, I'm spending a lot more than normal because I have the highest speed available. And like, oh my God, this is totally destroying the financial model. And so we had to subscribe to DirecTV Stream. Well, now Bally's is going out of business, or at least they're abandoning the San Diego Padre contract. And now there are options. Like if you were on Cox Cable, you're going to be able to watch the games on Channel 4, just like we used to in the 1990s to watch Padre games there. And if I keep my DirecTV Stream package, I'll be able to watch it there, just on a different channel, because it won't be on Bally Sports. It'll be part of the MLB package. But MLB, I can actually now buy just the subscription for the Padre games for only $20 a month. Now it's working for me. Now I can a la carte this. That's good news. I'm really happy about this because it's actually freeing up the marketplace. And MLB is doing a really good job. They're going to make these games available. And they used to black out the local games on MLB, and they're not going to do that anymore, at least for the Padres. So this is actually a very exciting thing. This is a big change that I'm really supportive of. But we're going to learn more about this. I mean, we're curious to know, like, will Don Orsillo and Mark Grant, who are up there on the screen, will they'll still be the guys? Apparently they will. They're employees of the Padres. But like their pregame guys, like Mike Pomeranz and Mark Sweeney, and are they going to still be part of the package? I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to have to find out more. But in the next few days, I think I'm going to get this organized and I'm going to make the switch. And I'm really happy about it. But there's a lot of questions right now with San Diego sports fans about what's happening here. I mean, what do you think? Have you given some thought to this? Yuri Bolin on the live stream says, miss Channel 4 and Sunday games on Channel 51, better than the 80s when they were on pay-per-view. Yeah. Well, back in the 80s, remember, local baseball was rarely on TV. You might get like 2 or 3 games a month. At least that's how it was when I was a kid in the 70s. And then I remember, God, I was raised in Burlingame. I had a girlfriend in Millbrae. It was the city next door. And they had cable TV in Millbrae before we had it in Burlingame. And I went to visit their house, and the dad had TBS and was able to watch all the Atlanta Braves games on television, every game, like all 162. And I couldn't believe it because I was lucky if I could watch a Giants game on television once or twice a month. And they were able to see every single game. Boy, has that whole model shifted. But I remember Channel 4 back in the day was really cool. It was a good local station. And then, but the whole marketplace is shifting. Everything seems to be changing here. Pete Neal says, yeah, I think it's because the Padres are not on the track everyone thought they would be on. Yeah, they're the biggest disappointment in Major League Baseball right now. It's awful. Just horrible. San Diego sports curse. But they won last night, so I have some hope.